Hello everyone, it's David here from Beyond the Kingdoms, and today I've got one more holiday event review. A look at my experience at this year's Festival of the Holidays at Epcot. So let's jump right in. This holiday event at Epcot is taking place this year from November 18th to December 30th. And as I said in my guide episode this past Sunday, this is a rebranding of the previous Holidays Around the World. There were a few minor changes to this year's festival in comparison to 2017, but there were once again a few disappointments for me. Let's first talk about the Cookie Stroll. This is one of the few new things for 2018, and it's a variation of last year's Cookie Nook. Instead of having one booth completely dedicated to cookies, Disney chefs have decided to turn this almost into a mini food scavenger hunt. 5 of the holiday kitchens around World Showcase offer a holiday cookie on their menu. They are Canada, L'Chaim, which is new for 2018, the American Holiday Table, Bavaria, and the Sweets and Treats booth. After you've purchased all 5 cookies, you can get a completer cookie with a glass of milk at the Sweets and Treats booth. To my surprise, every single cookie was only $2. I honestly expected Disney to sell these at least $3, so at first I thought, okay, this isn't so bad, and I'll give it a shot. In the end, I think this is just a little bit of a scheme to get you to each booth. And if you attempt to do all of it, you're at least guaranteed to pay $10. In my humble opinion, the cookies are just fine. Some taste better than others, and some are bigger than others. The desserts at the holiday kitchens are much more tasty and interesting, and some are even kid-friendly. So I would rather spend my money on the desserts than the cookies. Disney is also selling a cookie jar that is part of the Cookie Stroll, priced at $20. So in the end, if you choose to participate in the full Cookie Stroll experience, you're gonna spend $30. And I think it's just mediocre. If you're looking for an activity to keep your kids entertained, the Chip 'n Dale Christmas Tree Spree is much more fun and cheaper at $6.99. And then your kids can choose to eat whatever they want instead. And I must add that the Cookie Nook last year was a nice place to rest and enjoy some treats while watching some holiday cartoons. This new Cookie Stroll isn't as good in my opinion. But on the flip side, let's talk about the holiday kitchens. These were a subtle improvement from last year. Although Disney does continue to serve mediocre Caribbean food in my opinion, which I still don't understand given the various ethnic backgrounds here in Florida. The rest of the holiday kitchens are pretty darn good, but in my book, the desserts definitely stand out over the savory dishes, and by a long shot. Unlike food and wine, I think this event's food offerings are best enjoyed if you're just looking for a little sweet dish at some point in your day. And these desserts are absolutely stunning. My 3 favorites are certainly the Maple Bûche de Noël, again being served at the Yukon Holiday Kitchen in Canada, the Green Tea Yule Log in Japan, which was incredibly soft, light, and not too sweet, and the new Black Forest Roulade at the Bavarian Holiday Kitchen in Germany. This one was definitely my #1 choice dessert. And clearly, a lot of the desserts are just variations on Yule logs or Swiss rolls, but each is distinctly different, unique, and full of rich flavors. The savory dishes by comparison are just okay. Just like in 2017, a lot of them are a hit and miss, and I think they really depend on your own cultural background and what you enjoy to eat around the holidays. The new L'Chaim booth in between Morocco and France was pretty darn good, but the pastrami on rye dish was not so great because the meat was a little bit dry. And if you don't like kosher pickles, you might not like this dish. The potato knish, however, was awesome. This was the largest dish of the festival, and way bigger than your typical Epcot festival dish. It was hearty, served nice and hot, and the herb sour cream on top offered a refreshing contrast to the hearty potato inside. I also like that this year, some of the holiday kitchens offer a little variety from standard holiday flavors, like the spicy chicken at the Shanghai Holiday Kitchen in China. This was incredibly spicy, perhaps the spiciest dish I've ever had at an Epcot festival. And just a nice change of pace from turkey, ham, and vegetables. But my two favorite booths continue to be the Yukon Holiday Kitchen and the American Holiday Table. The meat pie in Canada is filled with a savory combination of lamb and pork. Last year, this had some strong holiday spice to it, because traditionally, this includes things like cloves inside the meat. This year, it was a little less spicy, which some will deem as not authentic, but I personally loved it. And the American Holiday Table is now serving up a Christmas ham with green beans and sweet potatoes. The ham was incredibly soft and tender, and I loved it. I love the addition of sweet flavors with the potatoes, and both this and the turkey dish continue to make this booth an absolute must. If you want to see more of the food at this event, stay tuned in the coming weeks with my Foodie Friday reviews from Festival of the Holidays. But let's move on to entertainment and a look at some of the characters here at Epcot for the holidays. Just to recap from my guide episode, Belle is once again located at the France gazebo in her holiday dress, so Belle fans should certainly make time to see her. This is a rare opportunity, and I really wish more princesses got some costume changes for this event. Just take note, there is some construction happening at Epcot in the France Pavilion, so her exact location may be adjusted around a little bit. I also noticed that one other holiday costume overlay at Epcot for this event is Pluto, who is currently meeting guests near the entrance to the park. I believe this could be the only place to meet Pluto in his holiday gear at Disney World, where he's sporting some earmuffs and a scarf. And one great addition for Festival of the Holidays is Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope. These guys are located in Future World West, just around the corner from the Epcot character spot. To my surprise, when I arrived at 10 a.m. on the weekend after Thanksgiving, there was a relatively short line. I only waited about 10 minutes. So, if you have your fast passes squared away for the day and arrive to the park at a reasonable time, I think it's fairly easy to squeeze this into your itinerary. It's the only spot currently to meet these two, and I have a feeling a lot of people are not aware yet that they can be found here. I'm sure this is Disney testing the waters on their popularity, and I hope they stick around for a while. Let's next focus on some of the smaller scale entertainment. As I've said before, this event has seen the removal of some previous holiday storytellers. However, for 2018, Disney decided to bring back the Hanukkah Storyteller, who is now located in between France and Morocco, right next to that booth L'Haïm. I love that this is back, because I think this event needs more variety of storytellers. I also enjoyed this because it's been slightly updated from before. The storyteller both shares the background of Hanukkah and sings songs, so it's a nice combo of education and entertainment, the way Epcot was meant to be. And since the Holiday Kitchen is right next door and there is some seating here, you can grab a snack and sit and enjoy. This for me proves that this event needs way more of this. I know that every country has at least one form of holiday entertainment, but I think it's time for some updates. I think there's a huge opportunity here to have more storytellers on top of musical entertainment and even changing up the scripts and formats. But one thing that can continue to live on in the same exact form because it's an iconic Disney tradition is the Candlelight Processional. I actually didn't realize until I saw the show this year that 2018 marks the diamond celebration of this show that started in Disneyland back in 1958. This year, I finally got to properly sit down and enjoy the show here at Epcot. I've always been told how impressive this show is, and I've even seen snippets of it from the back of the theater in previous years. I now believe that this is the reason to visit Epcot for the holidays. It's beautiful in its simplicity. Now, I am in no way a religious person, so I was a little bit skeptical about how much I would enjoy the show, since it does focus on the story of Jesus. But the pageantry and the music is what makes this so much fun. I even like how you also get stories of how famous hymns were written. And as a theater kid who happens to be Latino, getting to see Chita Rivera this year was awesome. But as great as this show is, it's very hard to get a seat. I had no intention on watching the first performance, but I happened to be in the area and was in no hurry to be somewhere else. So I decided to line up in the standby line at 4:15 p.m., specifically for the 5 p.m. performance. And I was among the last 20 people to get a seat in the back of the theater. I stood in that line really nervous that after waiting nearly an hour, I wasn't going to get in. Now, this is indeed the most difficult performance to get a standby seat at. But I must admit, I've never seen any other concert at this theater for any of the Epcot events get so full. If I wasn't an annual pass holder who visits all the time, I wouldn't want to waste so much time in this line, because the show is also an hour long, so that's 2 hours out of your day right there. This is why I highly recommend that you do the dining package. The food at the holiday kitchens are just okay. Like I said, it doesn't compare to food and wine. So, if you're doing a dining package and you're worrying about missing out on festival dishes, I really wouldn't stress out about it. Getting reserved seats for this show is way more important and definitely worth it in my opinion. In fact, even if Epcot is not your favorite park and you don't plan on spending too much time there, I would definitely consider at least having a date night at Epcot for this show. You can have a nice relaxing day at the resort, then visit your favorite Epcot restaurant with the dining package and watch the show. I think this will be a new tradition for me, and I will only do dining package in the future. So, final thoughts. As a whole, Festival of the Holidays, in my opinion, is the weakest event at Epcot, and the weakest holiday event at Disney World. Candlelight Processional was the saving grace for me. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't visit Epcot during the holidays. I'm just saying to manage your expectations. This feels like a typical day at Epcot to me, with a handful of extra offerings that get you into the holiday spirit. Do not expect the level of variety of food and wine at the food booths here. I do enjoy the extra holiday entertainment, but I think there's room for improvement. Disney puts on great events in California that celebrates Dia de los Muertos and Lunar New Year, so I know that this could be better. The offerings just feel a little bit stretched and thin, and I would like to see more of it. In the end, there are highs and lows to this event that leave me somewhere in the middle. But with that, we're at the end of my review for the 2018 Festival of the Holidays at Epcot. I will soon be providing more food reviews from this event, as well as my top 10 tips to make the most of this event at Epcot. But that will have to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.